Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of our WinSider podcast. I am Ayush and I'm here joined by Anmol. This is our first episode, and we strive to bring you the latest from the world of Microsoft every now and then. And we'll also talk in a greater depth about these news just so that you understand it better. Today, we are going to talk about the new Microsoft Surface devices announced at the special event at New York City. So, Anmol, what do you think of these devices? Which one is your favorite one?
Definitely the Surface Neo and Duo. Both are Microsoft's first foldable devices, and I think while they are not ready right now, they have been rumored for past couple of years, and we have already seen like leaks and renders that have these devices mentioned. And it's great that Microsoft is introducing these devices before launch so that the developers know what's coming from Microsoft and they can prepare for the same.
So, do you think that these devices are going to be a big push for the UWP platform?
I I would say yes. I think so because UWP itself is a platform that was made by Microsoft to run on all the devices at once, and it was also a platform that allowed Microsoft to run all kinds of Windows apps on every single device, be it a regular PC, laptop, or even a tablet. So I think yeah, it will be a really good chance for UWP apps to flourish, and they might show up in a good light for Microsoft and as well as for the developers.
That sounds nice. That sounds nice in theory, but as per the past experiences, Microsoft has sadly failed in pushing out UWPs to the developers. Because I think with the release of UWP APIs for Win32 and Windows Classic applications, I think this is another last try in pushing the UWP platform to the developers. What are
Sure,
your
sure.
views on this?
Sure. I agree with you that Microsoft has been a little bit behind the lines when pushing UWP apps and UWP platform to the customers and developers. But here, Microsoft is saying that they are working with other OEM partners like Dell, Lenovo, HP, etc., to bring these foldable devices in holiday 2020. So I think if developers see that there are many companies using the same form factor to launch new devices, they might consider it as an opportunity to work better and to maybe work on the platform itself. Because right now, whatever apps Microsoft showed yesterday, they were all showing up as UWP. You saw calendar, mail, and other apps. So I think you will need UWP to take advantage of that dual screen size factor.
Hmm. Hmm. I totally agree with that, and with that, I think the Windows 10 X platform is gonna be something Microsoft is betting big on. But I just hope it doesn't turn out as Windows 10 S was.
The good thing with Microsoft bet on Windows 10 X and not S is that they are not developing a complete redesigned platform or redesigned OS for dual screen phones. It's just Windows 10 with better features for that touch and dual screen, which should be good, I think, in a way that Microsoft don't have to invest whole lot in starting from scratch, and they can always improve upon it according to the feedback they receive from customers and developers.
Well, that's what Windows 10 was all about. It was about adapting to different devices, form factors, and working accordingly. So I think Microsoft won in that bit with the vision that they saw like 5 years ago. It's finally coming together.
Yep, yep, that's true. Windows 10 works pretty well with touch devices and normal type laptops or desktops you might have in your home. Plus, Windows 10 X as a platform is only for dual screen devices, and it's not like a stripped down version of Windows 10, which was Windows 10 S when it was launched by Microsoft. So I think it might be good for Microsoft to not like give users a stripped down version of Windows because the operating system itself is really complex, and it really helps all kind of people when you have a full version of the software available. I mean, if they strip it down, it will essentially be like Apple launching iPad with iOS instead of Mac OS. So that's
Exactly, exactly. But at least in that case, iOS also has a lot of apps that the Windows Store doesn't.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
gonna be a win situation. But just hypothetically, if we, I believe that it's not gonna happen anytime soon. Maybe I'm not sure. But let's switch gears and talk about the devices that were announced today. So the first device that was announced today was the Surface Laptop 3. This was the third iteration of the Surface Laptop product, and what are your it now just comes with comes in two sizes. It's 13 and a half inch, 13 inch,
Yeah,
and the other one is the 15
15
inch
inch.
version. So what are your views about it? Are you gonna buy one, or do you recommend our listeners to buy one?
I think the Surface Pro 3 is something that users can look forward to. One thing I'm glad that Microsoft did was to launch it in two sizes, 13 and 15. That way, people have more choice. And while 13 inch is great for portability, people do want 15-inch laptops right now. Because as it stands, 13-inch laptops is like smaller screen, and you can't work with a whole lot of apps on small screens. So I think that's good about Surface Pro 3. Other thing I like that they are launching it in fabric and metal separately, so users have more choice. Uh, I personally don't feel like buying a Surface Laptop 3 with fabric. I would more likely go towards the metal finish instead of going for a fabric, but that's just me. Anyway, so what do you think about the new Surface laptop? Will you switch from your current Surface Pro 6, or are you happy with your current laptop build?
Um, I definitely like my Surface Pro 6. It's like my only machine right now. I'm away from home, so this is my primary machine. Whatever I need to do, I need to do on this machine, and I definitely like it here. It's fast. It works perfectly. I have no complaints at all. I just have a few issues where some apps crash, but I think that's a software aspect of the machine. But hardware wise, I'm blown. I'm taking notes with the pen. I'm typing. I'm watching movies. I'm preparing my reports, doing my homework, and it works perfectly well. Like right now, I'm recording this podcast on my Surface Pro 6, and I don't have any complaints. Right? I'm multitasking. I'm I'm just doing more.
Okay,
This is making me highly productive.
yeah,
But if someone asks me if I want to switch to a Surface Laptop 3, so I would say no. Uh, it's a
why is it?
it's a personal reason. I like to be different, so I just don't want a traditional laptop. I want something, something like a Surface Book or a Surface Pro where you can just detach the keyboard and the screen. I think that's something I would enjoy, and detaching the screen just to take notes with a pen, which will feel far more natural, is something that I want to do, which is not possible much on the Surface Laptop 3. But in other aspects, if anyone wants to buy it, it's a good deal. It's a good laptop. Like, it's best of both worlds. The design aesthetics are mind blowing, but it's just a matter of what a person likes, right? So I think I'm gonna go with a device where I can just detach the screen and use it naturally as I do on the notebook or something, because I take a lot of notes. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. One reason why I went with Surface Pro 6 instead of Surface Laptop was the fact that I could detach Surface Pro on the go and Surface Book on the go, and but I can't do the same with Surface Laptop. So that is one reason. Yeah,
Well,
I'd surely go with.
we can't complain. That's what a laptop is for. If you
Yeah,
want a
of course.
detachable computer, you have the Pro. If you want a detachable Ultrabook, you have the Book. I'm slightly disappointed the Book 3 didn't make it to the stage this event,
It will come
right?
up.
But yeah, I hope to see it in the near future. Like, come on, Microsoft, refresh it. It's high time.
No,
Um,
But I totally agree that they didn't refresh the book 3 because they just did the book 2. And it doesn't make sense to launch product every other year or every few months because that gives customers more choices and it makes them confused. Which one should they buy? Is it worth it? And that is something that Microsoft shouldn't do. So right now their lineup is pretty simple. They have like different products catered to different kind of audiences, and that's pretty good. They shouldn't like mix up so many products that people should get confused that which one should I buy or not buy, and
Well,
that will be bad for Microsoft and Surface as a brand.
well, I agree. I 100% agree on that. But it has been 2 years, in my opinion. Like it was released on 17th October 2017. So, what happened now is there are far more other ultrabooks that don't have the same functionality um, as the Surface Book 2, but have the latest chips and the greater hardware and stuff like that. So I really think that they should, bring a Surface Book 3 with Thunderbolt and, with all that discrete GPU and all the goodness that a person looks for.
I would definitely look forward to Surface Book 3 if they launch it with Thunderbolt, because if they do, I will be able to connect an external GPU to Surface Book and take advantage of extra power when I'm not carrying it around and have it on my home.
Yep, exactly. That's what I mean. So, yeah, talking about the detachables, the Surface Pro 7 and the Surface Pro X was also announced today. Which one do you like more?
I would definitely go with Surface Pro 7. Nothing against Surface Pro X, but Surface Pro X felt more like a tablet plus it's ARM powered tablet, so it doesn't have that same amount of processing power you get from Surface Pro. One thing I didn't like about the Surface Pro X was its design of the pen. I don't think it will be comfortable writing with it. Of course, for sketching and drawing, it's perfect, that design, but I don't feel like writing with that rectangle shaped pen that Microsoft bundled with the Surface. But for people who want it, it's like a good deal. It's amazing device and it's faster than Surface Pro 6, so of course it's good. It's
That's
just
right,
good.
but Panos has been exaggerating on the more power that the graphics processor and the CPU pushes on the ARM edition, the Surface Pro X, right? So don't you think it's gonna be head to head with the Intel variant?
I do. So we can't like speak about benchmarks just yet because someone has to benchmark both the devices and compare first. But I do think that Surface Pro X might be able to compare to Surface Pro 7 in terms of performance. But again, the fact of the matter is Surface Pro X doesn't. I don't know if it does or not, but it doesn't support as of now the normal Surface Pen that we get with Surface Pro 7 or Surface Pro 6 for that matter. But yeah, that is one deal breaker for me because I really didn't like the design of the pen. It won't be comfortable writing for say 1 hour or 2 hour while you are taking notes in a lecture hall or you are working in a meeting. So that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I might disagree with a lot of people, but that's okay.
Yeah,
What?
well, we can't say until we get a proper hands-on with the device, right? So it's gonna be exciting. We are gonna explore a lot about the new design and what Microsoft is doing in that portion of their product line.
Mhm.
So the Pro 7 starts at 749. Would you
I
recommend people
I
to
think
buy?
I won't recommend the 745 49 version, sorry, because of the simple reason that it has just 4 GB of RAM, and 4 GB is just not enough in 2019. At least 8 GB should be the standard for 2019. But again, if you are doing just like Office, Excel, maybe a little bit of browsing on internet, then it's fine. I mean, it can work with 4 GB, but if you're going anything further than that, I think you should go with 8 GB of RAM, especially considering you can't upgrade later.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. So what do you think is the I'll just check it right now. I don't know how I missed it. Um, the standard configuration, the base configuration of the Surface Pro 7 is Core i Core i3, 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of SSD.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty basic. I don't think we have seen a Core i3 on the Surface before, have we? I'm not sure about
I
this.
don't think so. We might have seen in Surface Pro 4, I think.
No, I'm not sure
Not
about.
sure about Surface Pro 5 and 6. I'm pretty sure that Surface Pro 5 and 6 came with Core i5 as the base variant with 128 GB of hard drive and I think 8 GB of RAM. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I
Uh,
think
what,
I think it
what,
was available with the Surface Pro 3. The Core
yeah.
i3 variant was available with the Surface Pro 3, and after
So
that it was just replaced by the M3.
yeah, yeah.
But
So that's correct. That's correct. I forgot about the M3 variant. But anyway, so what I wanted to ask you is, do you feel like Surface Pro X should be targeted to students or artists, or I personally can't think of a perfect demographic for Surface Pro X. Surface Pro 7, yes. Laptop, yes. Book, of course, we have a demographic for that, but I can't really place Surface Pro X in a place where okay, these are the kind of people who should buy it. What do you think of?
in my opinion, the Surface Pro X should be targeted to students and people who just want to watch videos and stuff. Like, I know, yes, it can push enough power and stuff, yes,
That's
but
expensive watching Netflix, don't you think?
yes, but you know the design and what you get, the it's an ARM processor, but it's far more powerful than the others that you get, right? But yeah, I think it's gonna be placed somewhere between the Surface Go and the Surface Pro 7, right? Am I making any sense here?
Yeah, yeah. No,
So
that's okay. Because I too think that it should be Surface Pro X is for people who have to do basic tasks and they don't want to buy a traditional heavy laptop for that, and they are willing to spend the money to get an ultrabook that is highly portable and can be kept anywhere and carried anywhere.
exactly, if I want to edit a video or something like that, I'm not gonna use my Surface Pro X. I would even think twice about using my Surface Pro 6 or 7, as a matter of fact.
I
But
I think personally, sorry to interrupt. I think that Surface Pro X should suit well with people who have like desktops as home or in office and want a device just for portability.
yeah, I believe that's true. But to be honest, I really like the new design that comes with the Pro X, right?
Yep.
The thinner bezels and stuff like that. I really want the same design in the Pro 7, and I'm gonna buy it. Honestly, I'm not even kidding. I just don't wanna upgrade to a Surface Pro 7 for a better processor and a USB-C port that I never use. I'm sorry, I'm not going on the dongle train just
Yeah,
yet.
of course. So one more thing while we are talking about Surface Pro X is Microsoft introduced their own custom chipset for Surface Pro X. Do you think that that was the right move, or they should have just gone with Qualcomm to develop a chipset for Qualcomm, since they are the experts in developing SoCs and chipsets for devices?
Well, the thing is, the Microsoft SQ1 processor were co-designed with Qualcomm, right? So there was obviously some Qualcomm influence, and with the great partnership between the two companies, I really think that this chipset was the right move, because this will add in capabilities for Microsoft to build their own processor. So maybe in the future they don't even have to rely on Qualcomm, AMD, or Intel per se, right? They can just build their own processor like Apple does with their A13 Bionic or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Like, you get my point, right? Building
Uh,
the hardware in house and the processor in house will lead them to try to support these devices better and build their operating systems in such a way that any issues or design challenges that comes with the device, it's solved in house, and they don't have to coordinate with some executive in another company.
Yep. I totally agree. And one more thing to add here is if Microsoft is developing custom chips for Surface devices, it will be better catered for Surface devices because it's not generally available for 10,000 devices. It's just made for one device and one only. So I think
Yeah,
it will be
even
better customized for the Surface.
even if they start sharing their technology with other companies, right, they are going to make a lot of money out of it. Don't you
Yeah,
think so? It's going to open new doors for them where they can, this would be a new business. Like, okay, you were selling hardware to the consumers and the enterprise, of course, but you have a product, another hardware product that's just for the enterprise, or that's someone who's building their own PC, right? Which mostly happens with the either gamers or the enterprise, right? So I
but
really think that the scope of this partnership is huge. Like, I really want to see what Microsoft does with this in the near future, and maybe I would really want to see a day where they replace the Intel chipsets in the Surface permanently.
to be honest, I don't think Microsoft is ready just yet to replace Intel or even
Obviously,
go head to head with Intel and AMD in terms of desktop level processors.
obviously they are not, but this is long shot, right? They started with the Surface like 7 years ago, I guess, but now here they are. They are still preferably new, but they are building some of the most amazing products in the tech industry I know, right?
Of course,
So I
maybe
think
10
I
years
think
down the line, Microsoft might have separate options for GPUs and CPUs that are available for other products and other ultrabooks or foldable devices. Who knows?
yeah, the best part of the new Microsoft is that they are patient. Like, they are perfecting everything that they are doing, right? They are
Yeah.
listening to the users, they are perfecting things, they are, yeah, things go wrong every now and then, but still, at least they are trying. You can't blame anyone for trying, right? Some
I'm,
people are like very aggressive critics of this, but they need to look on the brighter side. I tend to look on the brighter side, where for being a Windows insider, I know, like, my feedback is influencing the operating system in a great manner. If I have something not working, there are like 5,000 other people for whom the feature is not working, or even
Mhm.
the right click is not working,
Yeah,
right? In
of
that
course.
case, per se. But if someone wants, like for the light theme, right? Many Microsoft execs internally wanted light theme, but no matter what it was, the feedback hub was aggressively pushing a feedback that said, okay, we want a lighter theme on the start menu and stuff like that. And it happened, right? It did. So I think this, going forward, this would be something that would take Microsoft even further. And with the Surface team, like, they know what they are doing, right? The
Mhm.
We all know anything. I'm just out of words to describe how brilliantly the team works.
Yeah.
I've met a few executives in the um, Surface team, and I know their vision, their commitment, and their work design. I can just blindly trust these guys to build something great, and I think they can make a good processor, even desktop level, maybe in like 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. But a day can come where they'll be in-house, where they will be building processors in-house.
Yep. I agree, and I'm really glad that Microsoft has started taking risk again because one thing they can't do right now is play safe and just refresh their current lineup and do it year by year because that's gonna make the lineup boring. So I'm really happy that they're taking risk. Even if it doesn't pan out, I'll be happy that they at least tried because
Exactly.
that way I as a customer won't think, okay, what if they had tried that? Because I know that they didn't fail. It's fine if they failed, but at least they tried. They tried to give the industry a vision forward, and everyone. I think every major company from yesterday's event can take away that Microsoft is planning to go with a foldable smartphone and a foldable phone based on Android. So the other Android companies like Samsung and Google will have to work harder.
Yeah, this is like they are coming back in the game, right? With Windows
Yeah,
Phone, whatever happened, that's the past. But now they are competing in the real space, and they started with somewhere which where they were like powerful enough, but now they are moving in the right direction, and they are just coming back with a bang.
yeah, that's true. So
Uh,
next
anyway,
one,
the
next one
next
would
the next device was the earbuds, right?
yeah, I think it was the earbuds after the Surface. So I think earbuds is okay. I don't really want to talk much about it in terms of its availability and the amount of features Microsoft is providing with it. What about you? Do you think you will buy it?
Yeah, I can buy it. Like it's good, right? It's good. It's for the productive person. It's for everyone, right? You can just it has the same gestures as the Surface headphones. It has the integration with Office 365 where you can get onto your calendar and email with just your voice. Although it will only be available in the US for a while, but come on, it's something that is coming. It's kind of it they are just broadening their product line with a variety of devices, and for someone like me who doesn't prefer a big headphone on the head all the time, I think this is going to be the product that I would want. You can get live on screen captions and translations in PowerPoint, and just for $249 I and you get a all day battery life. I think that's good. I think
Do you
it's
think
okay. Not,
the
not,
$249 dollars price is justified or not?
um as for what I think of Microsoft is they believe in adding premium value to every product. Like they built the Surface Go, I like it, but when you see the competition, right? I come from a country called India, and there is a lot of competition. There are a lot of cheap devices that a person would uh, buy over these devices. Who No one would go for a $249 earphone like or a bud. They would just go for a $30-40 bud from companies like Xiaomi and stuff, right? So I really think it's gonna be a success in Western countries, but in the Eastern market, I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference considering the price point. The hardware seems to be tough. I like it. I think I'm gonna buy it here in the US, and uh, who knows? Who knows? Only time will tell how things work out.
I personally like the gesture controls and other features, but I don't think 249 is justified considering there are other options as well. But let's see how it works out for Microsoft. I mean, it's their first earbuds, so it's literally their first product in the market. So they might have a lot to learn from the industry and they might improve upon it as the years go on. But for now, I don't think 249 is justified for the product, even though it's an excellent product. I mean, I really love the gestures and all the features that Microsoft showcased in the event.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, let's just switch gears, right? I think we have talked enough about Surface here, but there's not much to talk about it just yet. There were two main devices that stole the show, right? There was the Surface Neo and the Surface Duo. What do
Yeah.
you think both of these devices are placed for?
I think both show Microsoft's ambition moving forward, and I'm really happy for them. Personally, I don't know if if these devices will succeed in the market when it comes out in holiday of 2020. But for now, I think Microsoft is really showing the industry a way forward, and I think everyone else should follow them around, because we have seen what happened with full foldable phones. They couldn't succeed. I mean, we saw the first phones in February. It's October now, and the foldable phones are barely here because Huawei keeps running into issues. Samsung just managed to fix their Galaxy Fold, and even if that was fixed, if you go online right now, you'll see reviewers and other people complaining that the display issues are still there and the devices are breaking down, even after Samsung tried to fix it for like 6 months. So I think we don't have that material yet to build a proper foldable phone that could be folding the screen in half, because it's glass, it will shatter at some point. So I think adding a hinge in between and making a small bezel is the way to go right now.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with that, right? It's a LCD panel and with a tiny bezel. I don't think I would mind much, right?
Yeah.
And like we have, even when it is folded, we have a 9-inch screen. So I think for to consume media and stuff, I think it would be enough. But yeah, I like the devices. I'm probably gonna buy the Surface Duo as everyone else, or the Surface Phone, or Andromeda, whatever people were calling it on Reddit and Twitter. But yeah, I like both of these devices. I'm gonna call them Centaurus and Andromeda anytime now.
Yeah, I don't know if I will be able to buy it just yet, but I'm more inclined towards the Android foldable device than the full Windows experience. One reason for that is it's running Android, so I can replace my phone in the near future, maybe 1.5 years down the line when Microsoft announces it in Australia. But I would say that the foldable device with Windows installed, it's gonna be a niche product, but it's gonna send a message to all the other companies that this is something that they could work on, and they could use the same design guidelines Microsoft did and design their own products, which might be cheaper than Microsoft's own offerings. We don't know the price and specs yet, but let's see.
Yeah, the price and specs are still a secret, but we have an year, right? They are targeting the fall of 2020 to release these devices to the public. And I think it's going to mature a lot by then. The operating system is going to evolve, the design is going to evolve by a little much. And I believe that if it does, the bezel in the between, like where the two panels meet, that bezel is going to be lighter, if I believe, or they can even eradicate it if the foldable displays get get better by then, right? And for the Duo device, like, come on, I just love that device. I I want this device in my hands right now. And running and it's running Android, which was a little bit of a surprise. Come on, the entire announcement was a surprise to me, but Android, seriously, like, I like
But
it.
of
You
course,
didn't had any choice,
I
but I didn't know that Andro in Andromeda was Android. Come on, this
but
is
I'm glad that they did Android with partnership with Google. That way, Microsoft will have Microsoft's app, Google will have their Play Store, and the full Android experience you get on a phone. Because if you remember, Nokia tried Android a couple of years back and it didn't turn out well because it wasn't based on proper Android. It was just based on the open source version of Android, which didn't had like Google Play Store and other features. So I'm glad that Microsoft is working with Google on this, because that way they both can collaborate on whatever they are expert in, and they could make up maybe a perfect device for me.
well,
Let's see.
that's something that I wish we can see in the near future. But yeah, just fingers crossed, and let's hope that it turns out to work well.
Yeah, of course.
So are we missing anything from today's announcements? Like there were some new features for Office that were announced today.
Yeah,
Uh,
most of the features are for Surface or at least touch-based devices, which again narrows down the demographic. But again, I don't think that they could have enabled these features for everyone. You need a touch screen for that. And I'm really enjoying the that Microsoft is finally adding Excel to their touch devices, because Excel was one app where you could not use pen, where you could have nothing to do with the pen because a pen wasn't supported properly. And I'm really happy that they are doing it right now. It will be really easy to take notes in tablet mode on the Surface Pro without running for my keyboard.
mhm. Well, totally. My favorite feature for the Office part of the announcement was the one where you can just upload a video and it will convert it to text and Word. So I think that's amazing. Like we are recording this podcast right now, and we can just upload the audio to Word, and it's gonna detect every word that we see and create a script out of it. Come on, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's
of course.
something that means the machine learning algorithms and the AI, which the speech recognition API has evolved, and it has learned a lot to such an extent that this feature is being possible. But I would really not get my hopes so high until I just get my hands on the real working things.
Unfortunately, the some of the features are available only for Office 365 subscribers, which is I would say a bummer, to be honest. Uh,
Well, it is, but I use Office 365, so
of course, we
I'm
both.
sorry.
But there are people who are buying Office as in standalone app like Office 16 or Office 19, and they might not get these awesome features because, to be honest, that transcribing the audio and getting the transcript ready is going to save a lot of time to people who are actually recording audios on the go, like say teachers or
Mhm.
the people who are writing transcripts of someone else's audio. They spend a lot of time like listening over and over again and then typing everything out. So I think that's a really neat feature that Microsoft is adding. But at
So,
the same time, I would say that dictation didn't really work well for me. So I really want to see how Microsoft has improved upon it. Dictation, I tried I think a couple of times already on my laptop to write my assignments, but it didn't really pan out very well. I had to go back and correct some words, spellings, and everything. But let's see. I hope Microsoft adding AI to it and Azure Suite services that could improve the overall translation services and transcribing audio better.
well, that's how you train it, right? So you're gonna have some drawbacks.
Of
Microsoft's gonna
course.
detect it, work on it, learn your accent, and boom, it's working, right? It's come on, look at Cortana. It has
Yeah.
come a
No,
long way.
I'm
It's
not
using the same
complaining. I'm
servers.
just saying it's having issues right now, but again, it's a new feature. It
That
will grow over time. But I really want to see how transcribing audio works in normal speech, where you are not just talking like an interview, asking question and really giving answers, but in a normal conversation between two or three people. I really want to see how this works out.
There were also some templates that were announced for the Microsoft Whiteboard app.
Yeah.
Uh, like for you can just use these templates for project planning, learning, SWOT analysis, and whatnot.
I'm
But
honestly excited about SWOT analysis personally because I make a lot of SWOT analysis for my assignments, and it really is going to save a lot of time to me because I really have to design everything, write everything, and then start adding points to it. So if I have a pre-designed template available, I can just start writing points and add it to Word or add it to my assignment directly without worrying too much about the design or format of it.
that's great. That's great. That's great. So yeah, I think this brings us to the end of the podcast, or end of this episode. To be honest, not the podcast. The podcast has just started and it's gonna be here for a while now. So yeah, hello world, and do you have anything to wrap up?
I really don't think so at the moment, but I think if Microsoft could announce these products faster in other markets, then yeah, because I'm not in US and I really want to try these out as soon as possible and maybe pick one of them up. Let's see what I can do, but no hopes right now. And let's hope for the best and see. Let's see if Microsoft can announce these products sooner in other markets as well.
Great, 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 great. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. We are soon planning to come with another episode of the WinSider podcast. Um, I think with this episode of the podcast, you might have got a broader look on what Microsoft is doing with their products and services now, and where they are headed in the near future. I am Ayush, and
I'm
that was
Anmol,
Anmol.
and
Yeah, that was Anmol with me.
yeah, and one thing I really want to
Oh,
add before we go is if you have any questions, make sure you send it to us so we can include it in our next episode.
sure, sure, sure. You can. We'll leave all the details in the description, and you can just like, share, comment, subscribe. That's a drill, right? You need to do
Yeah,
that. Come on, keep supporting us. Show us that you want you want more episodes of this, and yeah, that's it. That's
that's
it, I guess.
all right. See you guys later. Bye bye.
See you guys later. Bye. Take care.